Alright guys, so we got our new toasted sandwiches. I'm doing them on chia butter. Chia butter is now an option for all toasted sandwiches. So I'm putting a little bit of olive oil on each of our toasties. Both of the toasted sandwiches get one portion of pesto. The first toasted sandwich I'm doing here is called the caprese. It's one portion pesto, tomato sliced, and then mozzarella. Okay, here's our veg toasted sandwich. It's one portion pesto. Our deep fried brinjal, aubergine. Our fresh baby spinach, which is a new product. One portion sun dried. And then mozzarella. Please note that these toasted sandwiches also go with chips. I did not do it in the video, but as per normal, all toasted sandwiches go with chips. As we can see, I forgot to add a little bit of olive oil there, so I added a bit of extra. Toast it, make sure our cheese is nice and melted, and it's ready to serve. Okay guys, here's our new breakfast, the eggs in purgatory. Unfortunately, the store that I was at did not have red peppers. Neither did the shops, apparently. But it's okay, I'll use the green pepper. We got our pepper, onion, chili flakes, and garlic. We're going to saute that till fragrant. Once that's done, we're going to add our pasta sauce. I'm going to cook it ever so slightly, not much. Okay. Once that's done, we're going to make space for 2 eggs. We're going to cook our eggs in the sauce. If the customer requests a hard egg, I advise you cook the eggs separately, otherwise our sauce will disappear. But if it's otherwise, I'd cook it in the sauce. For this kind of dish, you can tell how cooked the egg is by the yolk. If it's soft, the yolk must obviously run. If it's medium, it must be half cooked, and so on. You guys know exactly what to do. So I covered with a lid or a pan, and I've got my sliced chia butter, same as our soup sticks. Once that's done, I removed some of our sauce. We're going to remove our eggs quite carefully. Try not to break them. A couple of the stores I was at, I even broke some of the yolks. Once that's done, we're going to garnish with some feta and then some basil leaves. You can add a little bit of parsley as well, but please, it's important we add the basil leaves. Not chopped, just torn. Okay, once that's done, we're going to we're going to plate our ciabatta sticks just on the side there. Alright guys, now our portobello mushroom starter. We are all familiar with these mushrooms. They're also known as brown mushrooms. They can be known as braai mushrooms. There's a couple different names for them. But what's important to notice is the size. As you can see, these aren't the biggest ones in the world. You can get very big ones. So for this case, I'm using 3. We saute them each side, make sure they're nice and cooked. Okay, then we're going to add our chutney. I know a lot of you guys are struggling to find the mango chutney, so we are just using the Mrs. Ball's original flavor chutney. It's a 40-gram portion, and you'll add it straight to the mushrooms in a lasagna dish. I think I got a bit heavy-handed there. I don't think that's 40 grams, but please make sure you use 40 grams. Then we're going to use a medium cheese. We're going to cover that nicely. Once that's done, we'll send to pizza oven for golden brown. Once it's done, we add to a nice starter plate, garnish with 1 block of feta and some parsley, and we are ready to serve. Okay, our zucchini fries. As you guys can see, this is quite a large zucchini or baby marrow. also a couple names for this vegetable. Either works. So this is quite a large one, so I've used one. It's important to note that our recipe says 2 to 3, but I need you guys to gauge this on what you can actually notice on the size of the zucchini. Please do not use 2 to 3 of these large ones because that's just excessive, and your boss will probably kill you for giving away free food. So as we can see, I've got my strips here that I'm slicing. Try cut them evenly. If they're different shapes and sizes, that's okay, but try get the same length at least. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to season them with some salt and then with some flour. Please note that if you leave the salt and flour, the moisture starts to draw from the zucchini. So once you season them and once you flour them, it's imperative that you deep fry them as quickly as possible. Rather take your time with these kind of things because the cooking process is literally under a minute or so. So when you coat them, make sure you coat them evenly, coat them nicely, put some care into it. Otherwise, most of the coating is going to fall off in the actual deep fryer. So yeah, I've coated with flour and salt already. I've got my egg wash ready next to me. Once they're egg washed, I'm going to panko them nicely, and then I'm going to deep fry till golden brown. It gets served with a lemon wedge and a ramekin of herb mayo. This will be as a starter option, but it will also be as a side option. Okay guys, super easy recipe here, and the cheese croquettes. Only mistake I made in this video, I didn't chop the jalapenos fine enough. But once we got all our ingredients, we're going to combine this super well together. We're going to portion them into 30-gram balls, and there's 5 balls in a portion. You'll freeze that, cover it with some flour, and then you just deep fry it straight to order. Deep fry golden brown, please, and we serve with sweet chili and then a bit of extra parmesan on top. Okay guys, our pear and blue cheese salad. So we're already starting with our mixed lettuce, and our goal is to create height with the salad. The stores that I trained, I showed you guys to create layers. So we use half our ingredients first, and then we build heights, and then we use the remaining half. Should be our goal for all our salads. But here's our new item, which is pear slices. We've got our new croutons, which is chia butter croutons. You just season with a bit of salt. We've got our walnuts that I've crushed up a little bit, not too much. Okay, then we've got our 2 blue cheese portions. This is what I mean by layering it. I wouldn't put it all on top like I did in the video. I would layer it with one first layer of blue cheese, walnuts, mixed lettuce, croutons, and then we build our second layer. It's just so not all of our ingredients are on top of the salad. But if you so to do this way, that's fine as well. But try do it with the layered technique. Okay, then we got our vinaigrette. This is something you guys will make in a batch. It's a very easy vinaigrette. It's honey, olive oil, Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, and a new product called apple cider vinegar. Okay, please follow the recipe, guys. I'm doing it to order. I'm just doing it by memory, but please ensure you follow the recipe. Okay, once that's done, we're going to add it in a side ramekin, and then we're going to put it on the side of the salad. Okay, there is our pear and blue cheese salad. Okay, the minestrone soup. So for the sake of the video, I've only done one portion, the same as in your training. But we start by sauteing our onion, carrots, and celery. As you can see, it's quite a fine dice, not too fine. We want a bit of a thicker consistency. But once we saute that, we're going to make it translucent, basically meaning we can see through the veg. So we want it to become quite soft. We're going to saute this with olive oil. Okay, once that's done, I've added my green beans, which I'm going to saute, as well as my diced tomato. I used the seeds, I used the whole tomato. At the same time, I added my garlic there. I'm just going to make sure we cook this down nice till it's all quite soft. After that, we're going to start adding our herbs. It's thyme, parsley, and oregano. I'm just going to cook that down a little bit just to release the aroma, release the flavor with the spices. I'm going to add our veg stock and then our bay leaf, as well as our kidney beans. Please make sure you rinse this before you use. One batch, you'll use the whole tin. Saying that also, one batch makes 5 portions. So just keep that in mind. You can make it a very large batch. You can do 20 portions at a time in a big pot. So I've let that cook and simmer down. For the sake of the video, that is boiling. Please ensure that you do not make that boiling. Simmering is very low heat. There it is there. Very, very low heat. So once our soup is done, we'd portion it and freeze it. So now we've got our order. This is our orzo pasta. It's a 30-gram portion. You're going to cook this to order. So once we've got our frozen soup warmed up and our cooked orzo, we're going to combine the two. Make sure it's mixed well. You're going to season it with some salt and pepper. Okay, once that's nicely combined and hot, we're going to serve it in a nice side bowl as well with our new soup stick, which is just a sliced shea butter. I've toasted it with some olive oil. Okay, there's our soup stick, garnished with some parmesan and a little bit of parsley if you like, and we're ready to serve. Okay, our creamy mushroom spinach gnocchi. It is 2 portions of mushrooms. I advise you cook one on the flat top and then one in the pan. The one for the flat top is going to be our garnish on top. Get a nice golden brown color if you can, please. But once our mushrooms are cooked, we're going to add about 30 grams of baby spinach. Alright, there's my cream. It's just a small cup. I'm trying to cook this on low heat, otherwise our sauce is going to disappear. So there's our 30 grams of baby spinach. We're going to add some fresh garlic, paprika, salt, pepper, okay, and then our cooked gnocchi. When we do add our cooked gnocchi, please keep some of the water. I'd say maybe about 100 mils. But at the end of the day, it's okay however much you add, just not all the water. Just a little bit so we can reduce the sauce and pair it together quite well. Okay, so here's my gnocchi. As you can see, I've kept some remaining of the water. Once we've added all our ingredients, we'll reduce it till it's a little bit thicker. Okay, once that's done, we're going to add it into a clean bowl, not like that bowl. And then we're going to garnish with our remaining mushrooms and then our chili flakes and parsley. Alright guys, chorizo pasta is back, but better. Got 2 portions chorizo, some garlic butter. You're going to cook this nicely to give some color. Alright, so once that's done, we're going to add 1 portion of sun-dried tomatoes, something like 9 pizza olives or so. And we're going to cook that down, not for too long. We're going to add some pasta sauce and then some cream. Seasoned with some salt and pepper. Got our warm pasta. As you can see, it becomes like it's almost an orange sauce. It's not a pink sauce like our meatball pasta. It's just to take away the bitterness. We're going to garnish with some parsley and parmesan. Okay guys, here's the meatball pasta. In the same time, I'm making our meatballs as an actual manufacturing. This is something you guys will make beforehand, and you can put it in the freezer. Or you can do it to order, depending how much you sell the dish, which will include the meatball pasta or the panzuno. My advice is you do prep it, just so you guys save yourself some time. Okay, so our main ingredient of our meatballs is our chia butter, just torn into small pieces, and then we soak it in milk. Once it's soaked, we squeeze the remaining milk, we add parsley, parmesan, garlic, our burger patty, and then an egg. Please note that 1 burger patty is 1 portion of meatballs, and then 1 portion of meatballs is 5 meatballs. So 1 burger patty makes 5 meatballs. Yeah, I was just making 1 portion, so I'm only using half of an egg. Once we've got all our ingredients, we mix well to combine. Okay, once it's well combined, our goal is to make 5 meatballs for 1 burger patty. My advice is your hands are a little bit wet, so it's easier to shape the meatball. We press slightly together and then we roll gently in our hands. So for our order, you're gonna cook our meatballs. Make sure it doesn't stick. Use quite high heat. Once it's done, I've added my diced onion. I'm gonna saute that. We're going to add 1 large cup of pasta sauce, 1 small cup of cream, and then we've got 1 portion of granvita, which we're going to add inside the sauce. A mistake I didn't make in the video, guys, is I didn't add some basil leaves, but just tear some basil leaves and cook it in the sauce so it flavors it quite nicely. I've got our warm pasta added inside. For the plating, I garnished our meatballs on top, add our parsley, and then some parmesan as well, with a nice little basil leaf. Alright guys, now our panzunos. Here I've got 1 portion of our new meatballs, some diced onion, and garlic butter. After that, I'm going to add a bit of extra garlic and then pasta sauce. I seasoned it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and make sure we're going to cook it not too thick because we need a little bit of sauce extra available for the actual panzuno. Now here's the chicken panzuno. It is garlic butter, diced onion, some pepperoni, chili flakes, and garlic. Also going with pasta sauce and a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, I like to add my chicken fillet towards the end because if you notice, the chicken fillet will soak up a lot of our sauce. So we don't want to add it too soon, otherwise we're not going to have any sauce available. Okay, here's our medium pizza base. You're gonna roll it out in like an oval shape, same as the oval black plate, or you can think of a rugby ball. We're gonna add some olive oil and we're gonna half cook it. Once it's half cooked, as you can see, we're gonna add half our medium cheese. The remaining half is gonna be sent to kitchen, which they'll add into one of the panzunos, if it's the meatball one or the chicken and pepperoni. As you can see, I fold it ever so slightly and just press it down slightly, add some olive oil, and then we put it in the pizza oven to fully cook. As we saw there, I added our remaining cheese to our sauce with our meatballs. The meatball panzuno gets basil and parmesan as garnish, and then our chicken and pepperoni gets parmesan and parsley. For the basil leaves, just make sure you tear them. You don't need to chop them. Yeah, I'm just shaping it, making sure it looks nice, presentable. Okay, and there's our meatball panzuno. Here's our chicken one with our medium cheese inside, our cooked panzuno base. Apologies for this camera angle, I didn't get it quite right. I'm just making sure our cheese is melted with our sauce. Got our chicken fillet, which we'll cut in half. I add it straight inside. And then we're going to add our pepperoni chili cheese pasta sauce, I guess you could call it. And then we're going to add our parmesan for garnish with a little bit of parsley. That's our chicken and pepperoni panzuno. The strawberry cheesecake cinnamon. This is quite an easy recipe, guys. Got a vanilla cinnamon. I'm going to try and make some gaps in between if there isn't already. I've got a sliced strawberry, which I'm going to fill those gaps with. Once we fill the strawberry in, we're going to add our mixture that we've warmed in the microwave. It's the same as the Marvel pudding mixture. It is cream, sugar, and butter. So once that's melted, I over malted mine a bit, you can see. So I'm adding a little extra cream. But once that's melted, we add it into the vanilla cinnamon, and then we defrost the cinnamon. In the microwave or oven, if there's no electricity, the pizza oven, I guess. Then we're going to take one carrot cake frosting for the carrot cake. We're going to mix it with a strawberry coulis. Once our cinnamon's nice and hot, we're going to add our mixture on top. We're going to garnish with some more fresh chopped strawberries, a mint leaf, and then some icing sugar. If it is takeaway, I recommend you put the icing in a separate container. But yeah, that's the strawberry cheesecake cinnamon. The apple bites desserts. So here's the prepped. Shepherd was doing this one for me. He's chopping the apple, it's canned apple pieces, and we chop it quite fine. As you can see, it's chopped quite finely there. Once that's done, we add it to a pan with our butter, which is 30 grams, 70 grams of brown sugar, and then 2 large cups of cream. Also the cinnamon, yes, there it is. We're going to cook that down until it's quite thick. And then we're going to portion that into 70-gram portions. You'll put it in the freezer and you'll defrost it to order. Once that's done, we've got a kiddie's pizza. Our goal is to make between 5 or 6 apple bites. So Shepherd here is cutting our pizza base into little pieces so you can shape it. We divide our 70-gram portion evenly, and then we fold it into balls. My advice is you take the corners and pinch them together like Shepherd is here. And then squeeze it, make sure it's tight. Once that's done, we deep fry it till golden brown. We add our butter toffee sauce, and we serve it with a scoop of ice cream. If a customer wants a strawberry or chocolate sauce, you may do so, but just know that it comes with the butter toffee. Okay, guys, now for the dessert pizza. Please ignore the red chopping board. But it's basically our Oreo pizza, but just with a few extra toppings. As you can see, I've already put our hazelnut spread or Nutella, whatever your owner uses, our Oreo, and then we're gonna add our bar one, Kit Kat, and Milky Bar. There are portion sizes for each of these chocolates. You must just check in your Slow Joe recipe books. But yeah, we chop them in pieces. The Milky Bar I want you guys to chop quite fine so it can spread quite evenly. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's for sit down, takeaway. And yeah.